Yo, yo. Hi. It's been a while, guys. Pablo here from Unique Japan. How are you? It is the 4th of July. What a perfect day. 4th of July. America celebrates. Um, and we celebrate. Why? Because we're going to look at a sword today. We're going to look at a very nice piece. And I promised my client Alex that I would get behind the camera again and tell you about this pretty cool sword. It's a pretty cool piece. I'm not going to go on forever. I'm going to use my notes here in the catalog. You know that everybody who gets a sword from Unique Japan gets one of these. This is a description, if of course we photograph the sword. Um, you know, showing you the stats of the sword, a little summary, of course, at the front, and it goes on. More information about the sword. Nakago. We're going to go through it all, and we're going to do it here with the blazing heat. If I look a bit sweaty, it's because it's hot. The UK is smoldering these days, and that's kind of unusual for this country. Everybody, of course, is beginning to moan about it, and they moan when it's cold, and and they moan when it's hot. But I'm used to it. I'm getting used to it. But anyway, it's great to see you guys. Let's enjoy. Let's have some fun, and let's get to it. Okay. Now, I'm gonna first take out le sword, le katana. It's a katana. This is item number. It's in catalog 44. So if you want to go into the catalog and look at it there, please do. It's item number 4, UJKA. KA, of course, meaning katana. UJKA 477. It's a Ko-Mizuta Kunishige Katana. Now, there's a lot of Kunishiges in this Mizuta school, but this one is fairly old. It's not from the 1600s, it's from the 1500s. This sword is dated to 1590, February, I believe, in the Tensho period. So this is a Momoyama period piece, right? So you had the Muromachi period, full of fighting, and then this kind of very short window of time in the Momoyama period before you got into the Edo period. So it's unusual in that case, And I thought, when Alex requested, Alex, by the way, lives in Scotland, which I'm going to visit very soon with my son. We're going to climb Ben Nevis, all going well. It's when he asked me to focus on the sword, I thought, well, Momoyama period piece, great katana, and a very interesting koshidai too. Okay, so without further ado, here it is. Here's the sword. You notice quite curvy, right? You get into the sort of 1600s, into the Kambun period, the swords become more straight, but this has maintained its curviness. Generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, the curvier you go, the older the sword. I know there's plenty of reasons not to just follow that. Of course, you have the Nambokcho period that doesn't necessarily have huge curvature, but usually curvier swords are older. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm going to take it out. So, like I say, Kunishige. I'll set back here for it. Isn't that nice? Ooh, tiger. Looking good. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to speak a little bit louder because I don't have any mic on me. But so 68.6 centimeter blade. Let's take a look at the stats here. So not quite 70 centimeters. The curvature is 1.8 centimeters, right? Curvature, of course, from here to the Kisaki, 1.8 centimeters. Kisaki looks good. The blade probably was a bit wider. Well, it was definitely wider at one point, but this is, fighting time. So, swords started out a bit wider, but still, this is nice, and at 3 centimeter motohaba, that's good. That's in good shape. Let's open up the Nakago here, so I can show you more. It's about 700 grams. about 700 grams. Here's the nakago. Okay, and I'm gonna get a little closer. I'm gonna show you how the sword was. I'm not gonna go through all the detail here, right? But here's signature of the blade, and also the fact that it's dated. And what's cool about this blade is that it was made for somebody, right? It was commissioned, this blade. Okay, it was commissioned. So let me tell you some of the details on the actual smith and location. By the way, the Kunishige from the Ko-Mizuta school, or Mizuta school, it's kind of started way back in the Kamakura period. You got the Aoi, Ko-Aoi Tametsugu apparently is the long-term founder from the Heian period. And then it kind of moved to Bingo, and then you get into Bichu. So this is like Okayama, Bizen style. So the sword itself, and look at the catalog so you'll see some of the nice photographs of the hamon, because it's very difficult to pick up. The sword itself has some choji midare. In fact, I'll show you some of that in a second. Also with not so much utsuri, but it has some long ashi, and I'll show you some pictures here. But what I wanted to tell you, which is really cool, is that we know that on this blade, so it says Bichu no Kami Tachibana Yasuju. This is on the nakago. Okay, I'm going to read that to you. That's what's on the nakago. We know that it came from the Otsuki family, and it's signed by his name Matasuburo, and we also know that it was made in Asae village in Bichu province. So a lot of talking points in the sword. We don't often see, we know where the sword was made. We have kind of Hizen province, but actually to know the village that it was in was very cool. The fact that his, of course his name is in there, his actual family name is in there as well. And the clan name of Tachibana is in there as well. But on the other flip side of the nakago, okay, is information about who it was made for, okay? And it was made for Nakayama Gen Ue Nojo. And we don't know much about this guy. He's not that famous in terms of history books, but it is always cool to know that this sword was made for certainly a high-ranking samurai. And it was signed in Tensho era, Ju Hachinen, and Nigatsu, so February 1590, right? Comes with Tokubetsu Hozon certification, and also the Saigaki. This was done by Nozomi-san. This is our in-house Saigaki expert, wonderful artist. She's getting better and better. I mean, the first ones were good, but I can tell she's starting to really hammer it out. And doesn't that look gorgeous? So round of applause. I can hear it now for Nozomi-san. So the blade has a kind of itame and mokume mix. In the catalog we have shots of the sword on either end, which is good. Full length shots of the blade, and because the lighting here is not that great. Here are some of the qualities of the sword, right? So this is choji. A lot of people ask me, what is choji? Choji is like little blossom buds. It looks like this. So anytime you see them kind of tight like this, get choji, right? Choji. Sometimes you have what they call ashi. You'll hear me talk about ashi. This is long legs. These ashi here is actually particularly long, right? And those that have seen other swords from me don't necessarily extend this long, but that is a long ashi. Very cool. Ashi means leg, yeah. And I think there was something to do with if the sword gets cut, that the ashi helps to stop the cut going further along the hasaki, or the edge of the blade. So there is a reason, not just aesthetically beautiful, but a reason for ashi. Okay, and this is cool. One of my favorite parts of a Japanese sword is called yo. Yo, baby. Yo are leaves. This is the leaf. I didn't write down leaf here, but Alex, remember, yo means leaf. And yo is like little hardened areas, but inside the yakiba. So the yakiba, of course, is from the hamon to the hasaki. This is the G, And this is the jihada. Remember, you hear me say that a lot here in catalogs. Jihada is the, when I talk about the jihada, of course I'm talking about the mokume hada, which is circular, or itame, implying grain, or masame, straight grain, or nagare, which is kind of wavy. I'm talking about this part. But here, this is inside the yakiba, and the little dots that appear here are called yo, like falling leaves. One of my favorite parts of a Japanese sword. Whenever I see that as part of hataraki, I am pleased, and I'm almost always certainly going to buy the sword. You'll see that with the Rai school as well. Rai school, lots of yo. Yo, yo, yo. So make sure you look at that. It's really wonderful. Now, what happens if yo is inside the ji? We call that tobiyaki, right? Tobiyaki. These are hardened spots inside the jihada. Okay? So, very beautiful. Okay, let's get to the koshidai, because I'm already at 10 minutes. How is this possible? Anyway, guys, thank you for being here with me. Thank you. It's nice to see you again. It's nice to see you too, Pablo. All right. Now, is this a katana koshidai? What do you think? I'm going to surprise you today, guys. Look at this. I haven't had that many tachi koshidai at Unique Japan, but this is what it is. This is a tachi koshidai. And you see the blade, the koshidai is smiling. Isn't that wonderful? Tachi is always generally quite curvy. And now you might be thinking, Pablo, this is not a tachi, this is a katana. And you're right, this is a katana. Why is it in a tachi koshidai? Well, some samurai had, looked at the quality of the blade, the shape of the blade, the kind of curvature of the blade. And I just think that somebody wanted to create and place a sword in a tachi koshidai as a kind of maybe like ceremonial. You probably had the financial means to do it. It's kind of a taste thing. What I love about this tachi koshidai is that it's very subdued, right? This is not your garish, ostentatious style koshidai. This is more samurai, understated. In fact, all these fittings are all matching, right? You'll see that, with in some situations, you'll see that this is maybe matching, but that doesn't match. But everything here, these are all silver matching fittings on this tachi koshidai, right? And it's held like this. Of course, it's suspended off the waist like this, right? And so you're drawing it like that, up. And then, in the Kamakura period, and Nambokcho period, these long swords, this is actually a wooden, so you draw and then you're slashing downwards, right? And you're on a horseback and you're slashing downwards. Most of the tachi, of course, were very long, right? Very long swords. This is not particularly long at 68 centimeters, but you can only imagine a sword that had a cutting edge of like 80 centimeters, and then you're just whipping it up and then you're slashing downwards. It's pretty awesome. So the tachi, no question about it, is gorgeous. Isn't that lovely? The mother of pearl. This is all mother of aogai, mother of pearl on here as well. So it's a beautiful tachi koshidai. The sword fits in nicely. I'm not gonna place it in there, but there are some wonderful parts about this sword. Now, one thing I wanted to show you. This is called sarude, not Saturday. Sarude. By the way, in here, there's information about the tachi. I'm not going to repeat everything here, but we talk a little bit about it. But isn't this cool? Look at this. Look at this photograph. Right? Hands. Touching hands. Reaching out. Okay, so let's see if I can get a touching me. Little Neil Diamond for you. Okay, guys, so this is Saturday. These are two hands coming together, right? Am I gonna get that nicely for you? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? This is just, I guess pure decoration, but I love these two hands coming together like that. I mean, that's just cool. I mean, everybody has to have a Japanese sword in their life. They have to. You have to. There's always something unique to talk about. Always something unique to admire. This is kamakiri. Kami. This is kamakiri, right? The praying mantis. The guardian of the garden, right? Fighting off those pesky insects. The samurai love the kamakiri, so you'll see that a lot of times in on Japanese. For Minuki especially, I see kamakiri, right? Now, the tsuba on here is very funky. Funky Komedina. Let me see if I can open up this koshidai for you here. Alex was a fan of Buddhist art, and he's been searching for a katana for 10 years, he said. 10 years looking for the katana. He had one conversation with me, and I said, Alex, I think I know the sword for you. And I showed him preliminary pictures before we did anything, before we took professional pictures, and he was like, this could be the one, maybe, you know? So, okay, so Fudo Myo, right? The warrior god, the god of everything, power. You see that a lot of times in Japanese art. This tsuba, this tachi tsuba always has these kind of lobe, and these looks like hearts, but this is the eye of the wild boar. I don't mean to bore you. Fudo Myo, so isn't that cool? Nice nanako, and you have the, let me see if I can pick it up there for you. Okay, so just match it up together, guys. Isn't that cool? Very nice. Okay, Fudo Myo on here. So basically, it's like always about spiritual power, kind of keeping the samurai safe, right? And the other side is Marishiten, right? Marishiten's on the other side of here. Again, take a look at catalog 44 and read up about this stuff. But it makes this sword so unique, you know? So here's Marishiten, here's the other side of the tsuba. Isn't that nice? Yes, I love it. So really, you know, he's gonna have hours of enjoyment on this sword, no question about it. I'll leave that here. Here are some of the seppas this is a shakudo seppa that comes with the sword as well, right? So we have Tokubetsu Hozon certification for the blade, and we have 3 certificates for the matching fittings on the tachi, right? And the tsuba, right? We have a certificate on the tsuba as well, and the full koshidai as one unit. So there's 4 certificates that come with this blade. Okay, and I often leave with a kind of a sort of congratulations message for clients, because it means a lot to me that you guys have trusted me, and Alex has of course trusted me and my team to deliver on what we say we have, right? In an age where trust is hard to come by, I do everything I can to earn your trust and to deliver, you know, beyond your expectations when it comes to Japanese swords. And I just want to thank you. You know, I'm coming up to, or I would say we're coming up to 500 swords at Unique Japan, this being 477. The last catalogs, the swords have sold very well. A lot of top swords have been sold privately. Some Tokubetsu Juyo swords have sold privately. So I can cater to swords at, you know, Hozon level all the way up to Tokubetsu Juyo. If you are interested in learning about Japanese swords, getting into the collecting side of it, of course, I know it's a big leap of faith to do that. And shipping has become a little more tricky, but we manage with our specialist shippers to get things to you. But you know, try to not worry about, you know, making mistakes or getting the wrong sword or whatever. I'll help you. I'll help guide you to what is right for you, because I honestly want what's best for you and your collection. And then we just kind of build from there, right? We start with one, and you learn from that, and then whether it's a different time period that you're looking for, or smiths within a certain zone, I can handle. We can search and build up a collection methodically and sensibly and with a lot of fun. Okay. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is about 20 minutes. I don't know how it happens, but it does happen. But thank you very much for always being there for us, and we'll continue to do our best for you in the coming years. All right? Cheers now.